I'm starting to sketch Zihao, a pandaren from World of Warcraft. This is a charity auction art piece, a black and white character portrait commission slot, for the Tournament of Ages role-play event in World of Warcraft. The money raised by the week-long event was donated to Blessings in a Backpack, which provides food for food-insecure children when they're out of school and not receiving food via school nutrition programs. I'm not typically a furry artist, so I'm taking my time to make sure I get the structure done well before I move into doing inks. I'm glad I have some good reference images, and I also spent some time over the weekend watching a variety of videos on how to draw furries for ideas on how to approach working on this piece. It's not that I don't want to draw furries, I just don't get a lot of requests for them. Personally, I'm not a furry myself, though maybe I'm furry light. I do play a Hrothgar in Final Fantasy XIV as one of my well-loved alts. I was worried he was looking crooked and too much like a dog. Really wanted to be sure to capture the panda look of the pandaren. I also watched a video by one of my favorite artists, someone I really look up to a lot, Dave Greco. He's an amazing artist and has given me so much helpful advice over the past few years. I watched his Pandaren Death Knight video, which also helped me in terms of how to get the structure of this character done well. I'll put a link to his channel in the comments. The reference images were extremely helpful to me, especially the screenshot of the in-game model. I'm obviously not going for an exact likeness of the in-game model, but I do want that Pandaren look. Maybe some people can do them from memory, but I need references. I use references for most of my work, either pictures I take, stock I get online, or 3D models I generate and pose for what I need. If references were good enough for the old masters, they're certainly good enough for me. Please don't ever let anyone tell you that you don't need to draw from references to be a good artist. Drawing from references is perfectly valid and still being a good artist. I can see as I'm refining the sketch here that his muzzle and his far eye are crooked. Also his braids look very stiff and unnatural. So I'm playing around with the liquify tool and also redrawing a few times via checking my reference to get the result I want, one that doesn't look awful, I hope. I flipped the canvas again to check and see if it looked better, and I'm much happier with the result. Flipping the canvas is very important. It helps to refresh my perspective on the art so I can see any mistakes I might be making and correct them. I even have a timer on my stream to remind me to flip my canvas regularly. Gotta get his little ponytail and feather in. This was actually a mistake on my part. I was going by the screenshot of the in-game model. The art sent to me was rather anime style, and didn't provide a lot of details, so I wasn't sure that the ponytail wasn't a ponytail. Turns out, it wasn't a ponytail. More on that later. I like to use different line weights for my inking. It creates visual interest within the piece and helps keep the viewer's eye moving throughout the art with careful use of line weights to direct the eye where desired. Some people use a lot of very small details in their line work. I prefer a simpler, cleaner look in my own work, but with enough detail to convey what the viewer sees. I like to suggest a story and allow the theater of the mind to help fill in the details. I like to try to engage people to be thoughtful about my art. You can see as I go through inking this, I start with the thickest line weights first and then gradually go down to the thinnest line weights. This is just the process which works for me. Other people might want to illustrate as they go through the whole piece. Try different things and find what works for you. I made a decision to change the shape of the near eyebrow as I was inking because the far one is thick, so the near one needed to be thicker to look correct. Don't feel you have to be married to the sketch if you see something wrong which needs to be corrected later on in the art making process. I'm sure you've seen in my other art if something is going pear-shaped, I'm not afraid to do a full repaint to get it right. As I was sketching and then inking, I was thinking in the back of my mind what kind of background I wanted to do for this character. I wanted to capture the beauty of Pandaria, the beautiful blue skies and the deep jade of the lush bamboo forests. After getting inks done, I laid in the background, first with a gradient layer from almost black to almost white to give the impression of a bright blue sky. Next came some fluffy clouds with Procreate's built-in clouds brush. Then I hand-painted in some silhouettes of bamboo on 2 separate layers, and I adjusted the opacity of each layer to give them some distance from the viewer's eye. Color picking from the references, I moved on to laying in the flats for the portrait. This is a black and white character portrait commission slot, so there won't be any colors done here, all in black, white, and shades of gray. Did you know that monitors are capable of displaying 256 shades of gray, but the human eye can detect far more? I got all the flats done and had just started on shading the face when my one cat, Thing 2, decided he wanted to come up and cuddle on my right arm, and I'm right-handed. So with feline paralysis, I had to end stream and stop working on the art for the day. I sent what I had at this point to the auction winner and they're happy with it, and had only a small change request for the hair. It's a bun, not a little ponytail. So I'll be fixing that and continuing on in part 2, where I'll probably finish this. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments and I'll try to answer them as best as I can, either in comments or in my next video. Be sure to catch me streaming art live on Twitch on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday afternoons from 2 to 4 p.m. Central Time, Chicago, USA, on Twitch. I'll put the link in the comments. Would love to see you in my stream. Please like and subscribe for more content. I post both art videos and Final Fantasy XIV housing design walkthrough videos. I'm a house decorator in Final Fantasy XIV in addition to being an artist. I think house decorating in Final Fantasy XIV scratches another artistic itch I have.